AreaSports.net proudly presents The Sports Couch. The Sports Couch, one of the area's longest-running local sports talk shows, featuring interviews with area coaches, athletes, and other media personnel covering the sports in our area. Who will be on the couch this morning? Let's find out. The Sports Couch starts now. Welcome once again to another edition of the Sports Couch here on AreaSports.net. I'm Randy Olson along with Danny Anselment. And Danny, it's been a while since we've had an opportunity to do this. All the COVID stuff and everything else that's happened kind of changed things, but it's good to be back in the saddle, isn't it?
Yes, it is, Randy. It'll be interesting to see how things come. It's hard to believe it's going to be basketball season already.
A lot of the teams had their Meet the Team nights this week, and we have four coaches that we're going to talk to today on the Sports Couch. We'll have Doug Miller of the Hamilton County Foxes, Scott McElravy of the Fairfield Mules, Jake Talbert of the Wayne City Indians, and we're going to start off with a conversation with Tim Holloway, the head coach of the Mount Vernon Rams, joins us right now. Good morning, Tim.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey, great to have you on the show. And, hey, I know you're ready to get your Rams going, and we were there Thursday night for Meet the Team night, and looked fun seeing them get up and down the court. And how's things looking for you so far during the early stages of practice?
Well, and, as you know, we've lost 7 seniors and lost a lot. We lost about 80% of our scoring and rebounding, but we like this team. And, we've always kind of coach the team you're with, but you're always looking ahead a little bit and have to have that double vision. And when they were freshmen, we started putting some things in for them, and we felt like, they were going to play a little differently. And we started really getting into that identity and creating that identity last summer, and it's still going to be a process. But, Meet the Team was really early this year. We just had 3 practice/tryouts, so a little bit rugged, but not bad, and they definitely are going to play hard and be competitive.
Well, when you lose a D1 player, that's a big hole to fill, as well as those other seniors that you mentioned. But you also mentioned the fact these guys were working together as freshmen, and you knew you were going to be putting some things in. And that brings up a good point, because you got a great freshman coach there in Zeke Light, who's a big part of your program, and he really kind of helps get things off to the right start, so that when these guys become varsity and junior varsity players, they're already doing the stuff that you need them to do, right?
Oh, it's a big piece to the puzzle, and I know it's not easy. I did that job for 6 or 7 years, and you got a lot of kids from different backgrounds coming in. But I think that's what we always try to do with our baseball program. You're always looking at maybe not where they're at, but what can they be, and who are your AA guys, your AAA guys, who's got a chance to do this and that. And we started putting some things in differently. When I was hired, I felt like the 3 teams that we had coming up were all different personnel-wise, and they all were going to have to play differently. And we were really balanced that first year, that COVID year, and then last year it was grind it out and try to get it to big boy with 2 or 3 guys on him and try to figure that out nightly. And then and now we've got a little bit more quickness. We don't have the size, but we've got some quickness. So we've got to play to our strengths and play to our personnel, and we've been working on that for a few years.
Tim, it's interesting you should say that. I played at McLeansboro for David Lee and Gary Brzezinski, and I was talking to Coach Brzezinski one time, and I said, Coach, what's one of the biggest challenges for a coach? And he said, the good coaches adjust to the talent you have. Not every team is capable of playing at the same pace, doing the same things. You've got some core things that you use with every team, but you got to figure out the strengths of each team you have, and the coach that can adjust to that usually is pretty successful.
Well, those are good coaches that you're talking about, so I hope we're in line with that, and I believe that's very true. In college you can recruit to the way you want to play, but especially here at Mount Vernon, we've got some kids coming from several feeder schools, and this group's going to play differently, and we're guarding differently. So there's some things that on the only film that we're going to have is our Meet the Team night film going into our first game. So it was a great teaching tool. We were able to get in the film room and look at some things offensively and defensively, and we still don't have all of our stuff in, obviously, but we like them. And then that sophomore group I see as a different group. They're going they're going to need more screens, and we've got a lot of shooters in that group. So I mean, that's been the way we've handled our baseball program, just having that one eye on today and one eye 2 years ahead and trying to keep it going year after year.
Well, it was good to see Navante Nesbitt back during Meet the Team night the other night after his football injury, because he missed most of the football season, but he seems to be doing just fine after the injury, and man, he's fast, I'll tell you, real quick.
Yeah, he's tough. He's tough, and a lot of people don't realize, because he wasn't going to say it, and we weren't going to make excuses, but he played injured for almost the whole entire season last year. And, he was a key guy off the bench and even started a few games, but he had a bad wrist injury early on. He couldn't get healed up, and it's hard to play as a point guard with not being able to move your wrist and shoot the ball and things like that. He's tough. He's very mature. He's got a good basketball IQ. And, he's one of the guys we're counting on, and we've got to get him in spots with space where he can make good decisions, and which he does, and also get to the rim. And that's one of the challenges with this group. We're playing differently, but we've got to use our strengths, and he's one of them. Just getting him in space and surrounding them with shooters where they've got to pick their poison. They're either going to have to try to stop him, or he does a good job kicking their shooters. So, definitely a leader. He's a guy that we look to daily and he's never changed. Not one day has he been a different guy, and those guys are special.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your schedule if we can, Coach, because I get some changes on the schedule this year. I know you were going to be hosting a Thanksgiving tournament. That didn't work out, unfortunately, but maybe that'll get rolling next year. So you've got some regular season games right out of the gate that are starting on the 21st, and you're playing some new teams there. You're going to play Granite City, then you got a home game with Triad, and then making a trip to take on Springfield too. So those are some new teams on the format, and also I believe Taylorville too, right?
Right. Yeah, we're very fortunate with the way things went to be able to have that opportunity. We tried to bring back our Turkey Classic, and we had Collinsville on board, and we were trying to get some quality teams for our fans and for our kids to play at home, and we wanted to add a JV game in there. I thought that was unique, and Darren Lee told me it was going to be tough, and he was right. We tried and just couldn't get the teams we needed, so we were in a mad scramble, and we were fortunate that this opened up. I wanted to play 3A, 4A tournament with some quality teams, some teams that are not in our conference, and the bonus of the JV tournament is huge. We've got some kids that need to play and get some minutes there too, and because we're going to need some depth this year, and you also get a home game out of it, which is nice, and then it rotates. So out of the next few years, this will be the longest trips we'll have. I think next year Triad is the host, so we got a little bit further trip this year, twice to Springfield, but it'll be good for us, and should be some good competition.
Well, Coach, it's always nice to see teams you don't play night in and night out, and I'm sure you're looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, the only tough thing is we're going to play a Granite City team that on film last year played a lot of different defenses, so we're trying to get prepared for that. Several different presses, and we're going to their place. And then Triad really played us tough this summer. We played some good competition from Kentucky, Tennessee, Missouri, and they might have handed us one of our worst losses. They're about 6'3", 6'4" across the board. They all shoot it, drive it, and they shot the lights out. And they're expecting to be good. They've got everybody back, and they're pretty athletic. So that's going to be a challenging game the next night without having any scouting info because they are off that night. So and then we turn around and go to Springfield to play Springfield, who will be a good athletic team on Wednesday. So it's a good way to jump in, and with only two guys with varsity experience, it's a good way to start off, find out where we're at.
Well, I noticed, too, that the first meeting with the Centralia Orphans is an early one this year. That's a home game at Shagnon Gym on December 2nd, so that'll come up real quick, won't it?
Yeah, it's coming up quick. As soon as we get finished with our tournament, we'll have that, and then we'll turn around and host our Southern Illinois shootout the next day. So there's a lot going on early, a lot to get ready for with a new team, but our guys are doing a good job right now staying focused, and we're going to be as prepared as we can be.
Well, one of the challenges, Coach, I'm sure, is losing 7 seniors. Who's in this group's going to step up and be the leader?
Well, I think you can count on Navante and Colin McClure. Colin was starter. He was our only returning starter from last year. Played in a lot of big games. We played a talented schedule last year, so he's been through it. And with Navante getting those minutes last year, and those two guys are pretty mature. I mean, they're everyday guys, and they set the tone in practice. And then we had some guys turning on this summer and show some things with Jacob Morrison, a senior, Kerry Richardson, a senior. We have Wyatt Pilson is another senior. We also had some good minutes this summer from R.J. King. Got better as a junior. I thought that I don't want to leave anybody out, but we had Quentin Millsap. He's a little guard that loves basketball. He's always in the right spot, and he's going to bring a boost. So Roland Adams is a transfer from Salem that was first team all Salem tournament last year in a tough group. So he's still trying to figure out some new things, but he might be a guy that can also give us some minutes. So I hope I'm not leaving anybody out, but it's just a matter of figuring out who the groups are together that can be the best group in each situation. If we're up, I think we can put a different type of group out there, and if we get down, we need to press. We've got a different type of group, and it's a nice situation to have some depth. Where, as in yesterday, we watched film. We had a few guys switch their jersey, so they're going to have to earn that black jersey every day, and it's going to be a daily competition for playing time for sure.
Well, you mentioned you only had 3 practices so far, but really so much work went into this summer, and that's when you really get better is doing all that work and playing all those teams and things that you did in the summer. And I noticed the other night, too, at the Meet the Team night, that some of the guys have really gotten a lot bigger and stronger. You can tell they've been hitting the weights. I thought R.J. King and Wyatt Pilson were a lot bigger than I remember them being.
Oh, Wyatt's, he's a country boy, and he's a worker. I mean, that kid works, so he's got to be able to guard in a post and rebound, and he knows himself. He knows what he can do. And then RJ slimmed down a little bit, which he needed to, and that helps. He's moving better. And the good thing is with those two bigs, I mean, we've got to go hard as we can, and we've got to get them out and get the next guy in. There's no saving yourself or pacing. I mean, with two of them, they've got to be able to do that. And there might be a time where we go small when needed, but those guys been in the weight. Everybody's been in the weight room, and you can't really put a scientific, however you want to put it. You can't put camaraderie in a measurable situation, but we have a lot of camaraderie. We spend a lot of time with this group in the summer, doing some fun things and playing together, staying in the hotel. Going to the pool and this and that, and it helps. It helps. It's a team game, and everyone has to be on board. So we feel like we've got some good camaraderie, and that never hurts.
Oh, one more question before we let you go, Coach. The South 7 Conference, how do you see it sizing up this year?
Well, it's always tough, and we've been at it most every game. We had a few get away late, but we got a new team, and there's some other teams that have some guys back, but there's also some other teams that are turning over some groups. So I think regardless, you're going to have to fight. And when you look back, we've had some really good teams that didn't always compete in the conference at the first or second spot. I mean, it's a battle, and a lot of times it comes down to just a few things, whether it's free throws or a stop here and there, and that's what we've really been trying to ingrain in our guys' heads, the details of the game, and every single stop matters, and the free throws in practice matter, and all those little things come into winning the close games, and we've really got to be able to battle on the road and at home. It's not easy anywhere. So good group of teams and coaches. Yeah,
definitely so. It's going to be a fun year. Tim, we appreciate your time this morning on the Sports Couch. Best of luck as you move forward, and look forward to that first game over there in that tournament play, seeing some new teams, Granite City, Triad, what have you. But best of luck. We'll be talking to you soon, okay?
Okay, thanks for having me, guys.
You bet. All righty. Bye-bye. It's Coach Tim Holloway of the Mount Vernon Rams, and Boy, when you lose somebody like N.J. Benson, who is now playing Division I basketball at Missouri State, that's an adjustment, isn't it, Danny?
Anytime you lose 7 seniors, Randy, those are kids that's been around your program for 4 years. It'll be a big challenge to this next group to step up.
It definitely will be. But when we come back, we're going to be visiting with Coach Doug Miller of the Hamilton County Foxes. And you talk about making an adjustment. That's somebody else that's going to really make an adjustment because they lost so many seniors.
There's another group right there.
A ton of seniors off that team. A team that won, 27 or 29 games last
29.
year? 29, yeah. We'll talk to Doug coming up next on the Sports Couch. Stay tuned. It's the heating season, and Wayne White Propane and Sporting Goods remind you that they have fast, reliable propane delivery service to your home or farm. And if you need those propane bottles filled up, you can bring them to Wayne White Propane and Sporting Goods for fast service. Looking for a wide selection of guns and ammunition? You'll find it at Wayne White Propane and Sporting Goods. You can even search online through our website at WayneWhitePropane.com. And don't forget, we also have hot tubs and supplies for your hot tub as well at Wayne White Propane and Sporting Goods, located on West Main Street in
Farm Credit Illinois crop insurance agents understand that crop insurance isn't just about protecting your input investments, it's about peace of mind. FCI member Mark Clemmy says he can count on his crop insurance coverage regardless of what the crop year brings.
There's been a couple years where I ended up in a flash drought pocket. When the weather isn't cooperating, you can go and sleep at night knowing that you're covered.
Learn more about protecting your investments with customized crop insurance at farmcreditil.com/custom.
And joining us next here on the Sports Couch is the head coach of the Hamilton County Foxes, Doug Miller. Man, they have got a lot of quality seniors to replace from last year, don't they, Dan?
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge for Doug. He had a pretty special group there last season,
man.
But he's got a big guy still under the basket if he can get into basketball.
One of the biggest in Southern Illinois, as a matter of fact. Let's find out the game plan, if we can, this year as Doug Miller joins us on the show. Good morning, Doug. How are you?
Doing great, guys. How are you guys?
Great. It's basketball season already. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Our kids aren't quite ready yet, but I'm ready.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you if his team was ready.
Yeah. How many practices have you gotten in so far here?
Well, we're on fall break this week, so it's been great. We've gone about 3 hours every day, and we're practicing right now. I'm sitting in Danny Anselment's chair right now on FoxFan.net. I'm in his chair talking to you guys.
Take good care of that chair.
Yeah,
I'm trying. It says do not move on the back of it.
That's right. you gotta take care of your own stuff.
Yeah,
so.
that's exactly right. Well, when do you begin the season? Let's talk about that, all right?
The Goreville tournament is a post-Thanksgiving tournament, the Monday after Thanksgiving. And a very tough tournament this year. Goreville is going to be really good. So is Johnson City. So is Benton's probably the favorite. And then you got a tough AJ and Hardin County team as well.
Yeah, Doug, that's a pretty long trek down there to cover that, but there'll be a lot of good basketball down there that week. That's a good tournament Coach Tripp has down there.
They have good food as well.
The best hospitality room in Southern Illinois.
See, I'm not the only one that thinks about food, Danny.
And basketball.
Well, we all join that group, I think. Well, Doug, talk a little bit about your team. Of course, you've got Wyatt Hampson, the big guy, returning under the basket, but you lost a special group of seniors, so it'll be interesting to see who steps up to fill those spots.
We lost 6 phenomenal kids. I mean, they were not only good players, but good kids as well, and we're going to miss them guys. But they helped build back Fox's basketball, and I'm watching these young guys right now play, and they're all playing hard because of how hard those other guys led and played in the past 4 years.
Doug, that is always something. We was just talking to Tim Holloway. He lost 7 seniors, and I said, Coach, that group's gone, so now you have to deal with what's coming in. And I said he was talking about change and how he was going to play and some things. And I said, well, I played for Dave Lee and Gary Brzezinski, and I was talking to Coach Brzezinski one time, and he said, I said, Coach, what's the biggest challenge that you face? he said me being able to adjust to every group. He said there's no two groups that's capable of playing the same way. He said you always got your core things, but he said I have to figure out what your guys' strengths are and use them to our advantage.
And especially in small school basketball. And I've coached at especially 3 real small schools, and then we're still a small school, McLeansboro. And you can't be at Rick Pitino or John Calipari and recruit the system you want. You've got to change. And we're totally different this year. We're doing different offense, different defense. I mean, we look really different right now than last year.
Yeah, and like you said, at small schools, you got to play the strengths. The cards you're dealt, you got to play to their strengths.
Very true. And I mean, this is new to us. I've not coached this way in a long time. But I got Coach Koss, Coach Hopper, Coach Vaughn, and Coach Smothers. And we're all right now putting in new stuff with our kids that's brand new. We're still running our core stuff, of course. And our defense is still a core defense. But as far as the tweaks here and tweak, we've got lots of tweaks this year.
Well, what about the Black Diamond Conference this year, Coach? How do you see it shaping up?
Well, we played at several schools this summer in the Black Diamond, and wow, Carmi's really good. El Dorado is really good. Fairfield's pretty good. Flora's pretty good. Edwards County plays hard and well coached. I mean, it's not going to be. You don't have any games you can circle on your schedule in the Black Diamond Conference. That's a win this year.
That makes for good fan basketball when you go in, night out. That the competition is equal and balanced, and you got to bring your best game every night, don't you?
And you do, and that's what I've been preaching that for 5 days now. That we can't do things wrong and unfundamental and not play hard every night, or we're not going to have a chance to win.
Coach, basketball has kind of been through some peaks and valleys, but it seems like maybe things are headed back to a little higher level than some play had been in the past.
I think so, too. And you look at the crowd base, the fan base last year at the EHT at the Benton tournament, at our home games. We packed the place out at our home games last year. People are going back to good high school basketball. And I hope that continues because it's fun to have a packed place every night. Well,
it creates a very nice atmosphere for people. When I look at our viewer numbers and things from the past, it's just continually to grow. People's getting back into high school basketball, getting past the COVID issues and things like that. So that makes for a great season of basketball. What are you thinking about your Foxes team at this point?
I think we're going to be way better in January than we are right now. And last year I knew I was going to play 7 kids. I knew that in June. And now I'm not sure if we're going to play 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. So, I mean, it's a day-by-day evaluation. I mean, I think we've probably already had in 5 or 6 days now, we've probably had 8 different starters or 9 different starters on the floor through our reps. So right now it's a battle. I mean, you want to get playing time, produce. If not, sit. I mean, that's what we've been preaching to these guys, and it's changing every day. But it's also creating a culture of competitiveness too. You got to compete every day now, and I like that.
Well, yeah, you like your kids to be able to come out and play hard, not take anything for granted, and be challenged, and that's how they get better. You've got some young kids coming on.
We have a pretty competitive freshman and sophomore class, and we have 2 seniors this year, Wyatt Richards and Wyatt Hampson. We have the 2 Wyatts, and then it's sophomores and juniors that are going to play for us.
Well, I was looking at your schedule earlier in the week, Doug, and did I see on there that you've added Carterville to the schedule this year?
We played them for 3 or 4 years
Okay,
now.
All right. Yeah,
played them at Carterville last
year.
That's
well, and with this group, that'll be a challenge for you for sure.
And they're probably one of the best teams around. But we get Carterville to come to our home game this year.
Okay.
We beat them twice last year, so they're going to be after us this year. So, and Coach Hawkins does a great job at Carterville. And next year we're playing Harrisburg and Benton during our season as well. So we're trying to pump our schedule up to have a better balance. And you might not beat Harrisburg, Benton, Carterville, Pinckneyville every year, but it's going to make you better, and then hopefully in postseason it gives you a better chance to win.
Well, you get better by playing better people. Also, a new twist next year, you'll have your own Thanksgiving tournament instead of going to Garville, correct?
And I love the Goreville tournament. And Todd does a great job running it. They have great food, great people down there. But an hour and 20-minute bus ride 5 times, it wears old coach out.
Well,
to have
the
five
thing
more home games.
Yeah, the thing about it is the Foxes don't have very many home games. When you start playing in all these tournaments and stuff you play in, and you've got a great facility there, challenge will be for you to get some people to have a great hospitality room.
I've already got all the churches in Hamilton County volunteer to run our hospitality room next year.
Well, that's great.
So we're going to have fried chicken and fish and
whoa! Wait a minute.
Danny lit up when you said fried chicken.
We don't need chicken. we could have anything but chicken.
How about fish and dumplings then?
Well, that'd be better than chicken. You don't know the chicken story, do you? We'll have to talk. Next time you see me, you ask me about the chicken story.
He's wearing a hat this morning that says something about beef.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, we'll have to clue you in on that story sometime down the road. Yeah. All right. That's funny.
So, what are you thinking? Well, you said you may have 8 or 9 kids playing. Talk a little bit about some of your kids.
Eli Hansen. We're happy to have him. Jason played with me, of course, in high school, and Eli has moved here with his dad, mom, brothers. Great addition to our team. Just the way he plays. He's hard-nosed. He plays hard. He listens. He's very coachable. He's a junior. Trenton Pike is a junior that's playing really hard for us. Abe Neal's also a junior, a leader and played hard. We had a conditioning program before basketball started. We met at 6 a.m. and ran around the track and everything. And we did it after school, but a couple kids had missed, so I had makeups at 6 a.m. Well, I had 2 kids making it up, and I looked out there, and there's Abe Neal and Wyatt Hampson and Caden Kelly. They come to support their teammates, and they didn't have to. So that's what kind of culture we're trying to build is pick your teammates up and help them through stuff.
You also got another young boy that hasn't played a lot of basketball, but I hear he's coming on doing pretty good. Carson,
Caleb Carson, sophomore. He has come night and day from last year, and that's because of hard work and making good choices, and he's just willing to work hard and listen. Andrew Webb is also a sophomore. Jack Zellers is a sophomore.
Has Zellers grown anymore?
Well, he just got a haircut, so he might have shrunk about 2 inches, but he's about 6'1" or 2.
His uncle was 6'8", so...
well, I'm hoping he gets to be 6'8". That'd be great.
Well, it'd been his great uncle, actually. He was quite a ball player at Dahlgren in the 60s. So...
And then I also got Caden Kelly, who's a junior, big, strong body, center of the football team. He's going to come in and bang and be on you. And then we have roster spots open that we're competing for right now. I don't have my roster yet typed for Goreville, so it's a work in progress. I'm not sure if we'll take 10 or 15.
Yeah.
But
well, it'll be time to start that here before we turn around.
It will. I mean, we go twice on Tuesday, twice on Monday, twice on Tuesday, and then we go Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then after that point, that'd be 2-week point. Then we have one more week to put our roster together.
Yeah.
Yep, going to be here quick.
Go by fast.
Sure
3
is.
weeks is not very much time, but.
Mm-hmm. Well, Doug, hey, we appreciate your time this morning. It's going to be interesting to follow the Foxes again this year. We look forward to seeing them play, and just like Coach Holloway said from Mount Vernon, he's having to readjust after the 7 seniors he lost, and you are too, but I know that both of you will do a good job of figuring out the chemistry and getting the right guys in the right places.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for what you guys do for high school basketball.
All right,
Doug,
talk
we'll
to you
see
soon.
you.
Thanks. Mm-hmm. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Head coach Doug Miller of the Hamilton County Foxes, and a very similar situation between Hamilton County and Mount Vernon.
It's going to be about the young kids stepping up, Randy.
Yeah.
People don't realize how important it is what they do in some of these freshman and JV games because when the old guys leave, these kids are going to have to step up and fill some key roles.
Yeah, and like both of them said, they've got competition going on, really, because they aren't sure who they're going to really start yet. They got maybe 8 or 9 guys that are in the mix, and everybody's competing and fighting for their spot.
And I think you'll see on some of those teams, I think you'll see those kids change throughout the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's hard for a young guy to gain a spot and not get a little overconfident.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And his buddy he beat out, he's down there feeling sorry for himself. When he quits feeling sorry for himself, he's going to try to take your spot.
Yeah, that's right. And then if you get that spot, you can't be complacent either. You got to work hard to hold on to that spot.
You got to maintain.
Yeah, you sure do. All right. Well, when we come back, we're going to visit with Coach Scott McElravy of the Fairfield Mules and see what's going on in Mule Nation this year. We'll do that in just a moment here on the Sports Couch.
There's only so much time in the day. That's why People's National Bank makes banking easy and convenient with P&B To Go mobile banking. P&B To Go allows you to deposit checks, pay bills, transfer money between accounts, view your statements, turn your debit card off and on, and much more, all on your smartphone. It truly is banking at your fingertips with P&B To Go mobile banking. People's National Bank. Member FDIC.
Hello, Fox fans. Teffer Motors is proud of our school, proud of our community, and proud to be your hometown Chevy Buick dealer. Whatever it is that you're currently driving, come see us and let's trade. We are happy to be a sponsor of this broadcast and always happy to make a deal at Teffer Motors, your hometown source for all of your automotive needs. Thank you for your support, and let's go Foxes!
And right now on the Sports Couch, we're ready to shift gears and talk about the Fairfield Mules and their basketball program. As joining us on the phone is head coach Scott McElravy of the Mules. Good morning, Scott. How are you?
Good morning, guys.
Hey, it's great to have you on the show. And boy, you know, with COVID and some of the other things that went on and sort of some health issues that I had and stuff like that, we haven't had a chance to do this much in the past 18 to 24 months. But it's great to get back in the saddle again, and we're looking forward to high school basketball. I know that you are too.
Hey, we are. Fall seems to go really fast. I'm watching football week 1, then it gets week 4, and then it just seems like it's a week from basketball practice starting. So it goes quick.
Well, and a lot of those football players that had a lot of success with the Mules football team are guys that you're going to be counting on in the basketball program too, right?
They are. Unfortunately, we lost one. Week 1, Jay Snyder tore his ACL, so that's one of the first serious football injuries we've had to deal with for a while. Great kid. He's a junior, thankfully, for that, and we'll get him back next year. His brother, Latrell, got injured in the last playoff game against Pana, and we're hoping that his situation isn't the same because we don't want to lose anybody. We don't want to lose anybody else.
No, no. Was his a knee or an ankle?
His was a knee as well.
Is it really? Okay.
I got checked out yesterday. We're hoping for the best. We think we'll get him back here before too long, but just not for sure yet. Yeah,
okay. Well, we'll hope for the best too. But, you know, the thing is, your Mules athletic program over there, you got that winning tradition in football, and when the guys have success and they taste success like that, you know, it can carry over into basketball too because they know that hard work pays off.
It does. Coach T's won quite a few conference championships in football, as we have in basketball too. And like you said, you know, if you're used to winning, it doesn't matter what sport you're in. You're going to give your best, and winning's it's a skill as well.
It's also a very contagious thing, isn't it, Coach? Winning breeds winning, they always said, and losing breeds losing. And I've kind of witnessed both sides of that program, and I can say there is a lot of truth to both sides of that.
Yeah, I mean, if you look even at our girls, you know, with volleyball, it carries over into basketball,
Mm-hmm.
you know, much like football into my sport. So, yeah, you're right.
Well, talk a little bit about your Mules. You got much returning coming back, or are you kind of like a lot of other teams, lost several seniors and kind of rebuilding?
Well, we have my leading scorer back, Eric Rogers, and that's it from the starting lineup. It's our JV team from last year. You know, we kind of had that situation last year, but those guys they had more experience at the varsity level than what I've got with this group. Eric's a nice player. He's a returning all BDC, all South type player. He was our quarterback in football. We've got 3 other seniors with him. Regan Taylor, he was out all last year with a knee injury, so we're hoping guard-wise he can help us out. Nick Easton and Luke Duckworth are our other seniors, and then we've just got some juniors, sophomores, and freshmen that are going to kind of be thrown into the fire right off the bat.
You know, it's always a challenge for the young guys, but it also creates a pretty festive atmosphere sometimes because they're all wanting to step up to that next level.
They are. We had a couple of juniors last year, Landon Harrelson and Lane Tucker, that helped us from time to time. They were 2 of our better JV guys. Lane 6'3", forward, Landon 6'1", 6'2", guard/forward. So, you know, they tasted a little bit of varsity, got varsity letters last year. You know, so we're not exactly bare as far as returning guys, but you know, this is probably the least returning players that I've had in a while. Been pretty blessed with that.
As far as the starters returning, yeah, right, just one returning starter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you know, you mentioned Regan Taylor though being out last year, and you know he was an integral part of that football team, and he's a good athlete. So I think that he's going to help you a lot.
We hope so. He's quick.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like I said, he was out the year before with the ACL, just like Jay is now. You know, so recovery time on that 9 to 12 months, depending. You know how diligent you are with your rehab, and just sometimes a little bit of luck involved with that too. But yeah, we need all the guys. You know, right off the bat, we start against Olney, and I know from being up at Illinois at the football game last weekend, they have an incoming 6'8" freshman. So, and Coach Flanagan, you know, he's got returning guys. So we're going to be thrown right into the fire right off the bat.
Yeah, that Capital Classic that you play in there at Lawrenceville and Red Hill, that's how you usually start the season, and you will again. And I was looking at your schedule, and you've got some other interesting games poked in there along the way. I see you got Casey Westfield on the schedule again. You got Benton on the schedule. And so in addition to the Black Diamond Conference, it's a pretty formidable schedule for the Mules.
Yeah, we always do. We try to, you know, play a couple good 1As, which we will, in North Clay and Sisney and Wayne City. And then we added Newton this year. They've got a really good junior class. Benton's good this year. Olney, we'll play them again in the regular season. They're good. Yeah, I definitely think it helps playing a schedule. I mean, it doesn't help you if you're playing teams that you know you're going to come in and just beat by 20 every night.
Well, no, it instills the confidence in your team that is not really true, doesn't it, Coach?
It does, and we want to be prepared for the end of the year. You know, we want to win conference. You know, we always want a chance to do that. We want a chance to win at El Dorado and Carmi in the Capital. You know, you've got a good team if you can do that. But at the end of the year, that's where it's important. You know, because everybody remembers regional championships and things like that. Pretty special stuff. But, yeah, our kids, that's one thing I've been lucky with. You know, we've had a chance to win at some of these tournaments. We've also been the other way. It's been a while, but we have. And my kids just aren't afraid to play teams. And that's big. You know, you may not win, but you're not intimidated when you go up against them.
Well, that's how you get better, you know. Better competition makes you a better ball player. It makes you learn and improve. It shows you what you need to work on, how to get better. And it may not be the season record you always want, but like you said, at the end, nobody wants to play you.
Yeah, you want to work towards that goal of postseason for sure.
Absolutely.
Hey, let's talk a little bit about the Black Diamond Conference if we can, Coach. How do you see that sizing up this year?
I'm sorry?
Let's talk about the Black Diamond Conference. How do you see that sizing up this year?
And before I forget, Casey Westfield's ranked in 1A this year.
Well, that's true. Yeah, there you go. Right.
Very good team.
You bet.
Carmine's got everybody back. They should have a nice team this year. El Dorado's got some key pieces back. I think they both probably have the most returning. You know, Hampton at Hemco, we don't have anybody that can match up with that size. He's a really nice player. Flora has been a great addition to our side. They're going to bring a quality team almost every year. ECs like us, they lost some people, but it's going to be tough. I really probably I would say El Dorado and Carmel. I'll put the target on their back this year. but we're ready to play. We'll be ready to play. But I think it's going to be very competitive. I do.
We talked with Coach Doug Miller a while ago, and that's what he said. He said it looks to him like it'll be every night you better bring your best game or you're going to go home with a loss.
Yeah, and I thought last year was fun. They went through, and congrats to them in winning. But boy, we gave them a good game down at their place. Thought we might get them, but we didn't. I love the concept of playing the home and away. So that way, you get to play each other at their own place. There's no controversy and we had to play the two toughest teams at their place this year, and then next year when they're not as good,
right,
or we're not as good, they're at our place. I love the home and away.
I'm like you, Coach. I think it gives every team a fair chance.
Absolutely.
And
there's some good places to play.
You want to take care of home.
Absolutely.
Well, going to be a little bit different wrinkle perhaps down the El Dorado Holiday Tournament this year too, as Harrisburg's got a new coach, Andy Fehrenbacher, coming in there and to take over for Coach Smith-Peters, and that Coach Fehrenbacher will be lighting a fire underneath the Bulldogs, and so they'll be ready to play.
Yeah, Andy's always been super nice to me. I've known him back to when he was the assistant at T-Town.
Mm-hmm.
One of the years when we played them, he was head coach up there at the Capitol. I think they beat us 51-21. That's our lowest scoring game I think we've ever had with one of my teams. There were years when we scored more than that one quarter, but they were really good. So he'll have them playing hard. It'll be different seeing him in purple.
Yeah.
Because everywhere else I've seen him, it's been in green, so or a shade of that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, basketball looks to me like, Coach, the fan interest is kind of coming back. For a few years, attendance got pretty low. Excitement during games got kind of low, but last year it seemed like people were kind of breaking out of the COVID syndrome and getting back involved, following teams, and made for some very nice environments.
I think so. We were lucky that right before COVID, those were some of our better teams. So we had some of the best attendance we've had in years. When you're 32-3 and 28-5, people tend to want to come watch.
Everybody loves a winner.
They do, and we had some really good kids there too. A lot of fun, and then COVID hit, and that kind of took it away. Things are different now. You can get online, and I think that's great because my mom's an hour and a half away, so she can watch all our games or most of our games because they're streamed. But that does take a few of the fans away, especially your older crowd if they're not great at getting out and around, or if the weather's not great. If you can watch online, that helps. So that's probably taken a few away, but I'm with you guys. I'm glad that things have gotten better. And, hopefully everybody get out and actually watch it live.
One of the biggest challenges I see in athletics right now is officials, getting enough officials.
Yeah. I've always said that, it's easy to get on them. Just like it is coaches or your admin or whatever. But to want to be one, not too many people are offering that up. We're getting a lot of the same guys just because that's what you have left. So, yeah, that young crowd, we've got to get some into it. It's not an easy sport to do. Football, you're kind of away from the crowd. If you call a holding penalty there in the middle of the scrum, a lot of times I don't even know which official called it. But in basketball, everybody knows because they're right on top of you.
Right.
So it's a challenge for it to do, but yeah, we definitely need some younger guys. Hopefully we can have that happen.
Yeah, I hope so. Coach, we've enjoyed talking with you this morning. We appreciate the preview of your Fairfield Mules and look forward to covering you throughout the season. And best of luck as we move forward here. Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and I'll mention I hope somewhere we see the shot clock this year. I know some schools don't like it, but I'm a fan of it coming. I think that would be fun.
There's a few places that have talked about doing it either during their shootouts or their tournaments, so we'll see. Yeah. So maybe you'll run across it somewhere this year. Yeah.
Hey, maybe so. Appreciate it, guys.
Okay.
The only challenge I see with that is finding somebody to run it.
Yeah.
You're correct. That's another person on the bench, and that's actually a pretty technical job.
Yeah.
There, you've got to really start and stop and be ready. But
I still think
I know Coach Miller may not like that. We joke around with each other about that.
I still think that'll be the biggest challenge to that coming in for schools, to find a quality person that wants to do that night in and night out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe they just give the coaches a switch and we can turn it on and off. That'd be okay with it.
Yeah.
Have your own button there. Yeah.
I'd like, just go ahead. Let's put one on you, and I want to do that game. We'll see how that works out. I'll bring a second camera and just put on you.
I have a feeling a couple guys I go against may never turn theirs on.
Yeah, right. That's true. That's true.
That's okay.
All right.
That's all right.
Well, have a good practice today, Coach, and a great weekend. Thank you so much. All right.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys. Fun talking to you.
Okay.
See you, Scott.
Take care. All right. Bye-bye. That's Scott McElravy, head coach of the Fairfield Mules, and there are a few places that are going to do the shot clock this year. It's not obviously not mandatory yet by any stretch of the imagination, but there are some schools that are going to implement it this year, either for shootouts or for some tournaments, and so we may stumble across this someplace.
Yeah, we'll probably see it, but I still think, like I said, the biggest challenge will be somebody. Would you want to do that?
No, that's a tough job. That's a really tough job.
I don't want the responsibility of it.
Like you said, there's a lot to understand about that. It's a technical job, and man, you'd have to have incredible concentration to do that.
I'll tell you another group that I've talked to that's not in favor of it: officials.
Yeah. Well, it just gives them one more thing to have to worry about. Yeah.
Yeah, those guys are shorthanded. They're scrapping, scrounging, trying to get everything covered that needs to be covered.
Yeah.
I think some of the older guys, if they instill that, I think there's some older guys will say, "I'm done."
They might. They really might. That might be just enough to push them out the door.
Yeah, I think so.
When we come back, we're going to talk about the Wayne City Indians as Coach Jake Talbert is going to join us on the Sports Couch. Stay tuned. We'll be back with Jake in just a moment. Kelly Electric in McLeansboro is a name you can trust for all of your heating and cooling needs, whether it be for your home or your business or your farm. Andy Kelly at Kelly Electric has many years of experience and carries many of the top brands to meet your heating and cooling needs. Whether it's a new furnace you need, a central air conditioning system, or one of the new high-efficiency mini-split systems, Andy Kelly at Kelly Electric can handle the job. Call him at 643-2752. Kelly Electric in McLeansboro. Welcome back to the Sports Couch. Time now to talk about the Wayne City Indians and the Midland Trail Conference. As joining us on the phone is the head coach of the Indians, Jake Talbert. Good morning, Jake. How are you doing?
Doing well, guys. Good morning to you.
Yeah, great to have you on the show. And can you believe it's basketball season again already?
Yes, I can. It's been a long wait for me.
Well, yeah, you've probably been looking forward to it. You know, I've been talking to one of your players when I stop by Sweetie's and get me an ice cream cone or something. I'm always running into Justin Durham as he spends some time there, and that's one of your big guys coming back this year, isn't it?
Yeah, that's our number one guy, and it's a great thing that he's laying off the product at work. When they first opened, he wasn't, and we had an open gym, and He goes, I'm out of shape. I said, you got to lay off that product at work, man.
Yeah.
It's too good.
That's good point.
Boy, what a friend you are.
Probably pretty hard to resist that, too, I'm sure, when you're serving it up all the time. But, he looks like he's in pretty good shape to me, though. I mean, if anything, he looks like he's even gotten taller and stronger. But to have a big guy like that to build your team around and having his senior year and to have that size in Class 1A basketball, that's a nice luxury to have, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, we don't get guys like him very often. And with his character, and he's a great leader, he's a complete package, and he's a load to handle down low. You can ask about any 2A school we played last year. Fairfield had a hard time with him. Murfreesboro, even in 2A, it's hard to match his size and his strength.
Mm-hmm.
Talk a little bit about what you're going to have to join him, Coach, this season.
Well, we've got Justin's twin brother, Johnny, back. He was our third leading scorer last year, had about 9 points a game. And I think he's about ready to take the next step in his career and really step it up. And, when you lose Taj McKinney, that's a lot of points. That's a lot of shots that go out the door. So we're expecting big things from Johnny. And then Grant Lewis, who tore his ACL the first game of the year last year, will be back. His sophomore year, he started every game. So now he's a senior. He had to sit out his junior year with that injury. And getting a 6'3" guy back that can guard anybody on the 1 through 4 positions is a great asset to have.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Your season will be opening over at Christopher at the Turkey Tournament, but that'll be your last year over there.
That's correct. Yeah, we're heading down your way, Danny, next year.
Yeah, you'll be the Hamilton County Foxes will be starting their own tournament, and you're going to be a key player in that. And you have to be looking forward to Christopher, but also you got to be looking forward to a new challenge closer to home.
Absolutely. It's a shorter bus ride for my back on the bus. I'm not used to riding the bus.
Right. You coaches are all pretty soft on this bus ride, and that's what Doug Miller said.
Those seats aren't made for people our age.
Yeah, well, and then tell us about the Conrad Allen tournament coming up this year. Who you got in that, and that'll be just around the corner. Yeah,
I think it's going to be one of our most loaded Conrad Allen tournaments we've had in a while. Weber Township has just about everybody back from their team. Sisney will be loaded with their young core. And then we've added South Central, who won a regional last year.
Yeah.
And then I believe we've got Lovejoy coming over as well. So they're always full of athletes.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's going to look a little bit different where we're going to have 12 teams. But that means we'll have 4 pools of 3. And then we'll actually have a bracket at the end of the week. So we'll have a true semifinal on Friday night.
Oh, wow.
To determine who plays for the championship on Saturday.
I like that.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. My partner in crime, hopefully he's going to be able to pick up a few share of his games last year. He got pretty hard for me to carry.
Yeah, we're looking forward to being back in action more this year. Yep. So
yeah, absolutely. We love having you guys over at our place. So anytime.
Okay, so 12 teams in the Conrad Allen. I like that. That's great. Glad to see that. Yeah.
Well, like you said, you got a couple new faces and new teams. That always adds a new twist to the tournament. So that's what would be about year number 62 or 3, something like that.
68.
Wow.
68.
Holy cow! Yeah, long time.
Yeah, and if we wouldn't have had the COVID year, it'd be year number 69. So,
sure.
But yeah, we've been going for a long time here.
That's unreal.
There's been a lot of talent come through there.
Absolutely. And last year was the last tournament that Conrad Allen got to watch himself.
Mm-hmm.
He watched it live stream.
Mm-hmm.
But we've named the gym after him now. It's the J. Conrad Allen Gymnasium, and yeah, we've really dressed up the gym. It looks nice. I'm excited for people to come out and watch the games.
That's fantastic. Well, how about the Midland Trail Conference this year? How do you think that sizes up?
I think it's going to be really tough. Like I said, Weber and Sisney, they're going to be loaded up. Christar Rock returns a lot of people, and they were second in the conference regular season last year. Waltonville has a nice young core moving up from their state 8th grade championship team, and I expect Woodlawn to surprise some people this year. I think Luke Cooper does a good job over there, really working with his kids. So yeah, there's never an easy night in the Midland Trail. It's a tough conference.
You know, Jake, I talked to a guy from Waltonville last year, and they are really excited about their team they have coming up. He thinks their best basketball is probably a year away, but he thinks that they're going to surprise some people with these young kids this year.
I think so. And then they've got that Seth Carnes, who was injured most of last year, but he's a great shooter, and he's one to look out for, and he's a hard worker, and I think he'll really lead their young core.
Have you guys added anybody else to your schedule this year that's maybe a little bit different wrinkle or anything?
I think, it looks about the same. We do have a ton of 2As on there again. Carmi, Fairfield, Flora, Murfreesboro. So, we don't back down from a challenge. We're ready to play anybody. And, of course, when you have somebody like Justin Durham, you're a lot less afraid.
Well, Coach, the thing about it is playing people like that makes your team get better, and it'll give you a better chance come postseason.
Right, and it also beefs up your resume for subsectional, trying to get one of those top 4 seeds. When you just play a bunch of teams your own size, like you said, Danny, you don't get any better. You have to have some challenge. You have to have some adversity to try to overcome that, and it makes me a better coach, because those guys in the 2A, they've got a lot more athletes to cover and a lot more weapons at their disposal.
Yeah, but high school basketball, Jake, don't you think it seems to be getting stronger again? It seemed to me like high school basketball kind of went through a lull where there wasn't a lot of even play. There was a lot of blowouts. But last year, night in, night out, it was pretty competitive.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I don't look at our schedule and think we have any cupcakes. Even the teams on our schedule that I would consider kind of having a down year, they've got kids who are working hard. They're going to compete. They're going to give you everything that they got. So in our area, we have some good coaches who know their players, know their communities, and prepare their teams night in, night out.
We'll talk about the work that you got done during the summer. I know that you guys were working on things during the summer, and a lot of guys get bigger and better and stronger in the summer, don't they?
Absolutely. That's more where your player development comes into play, is in the summertime. And we used 18 out of our 25 contact days, and we had a shootout here at Wayne City, and we had 12 teams at that. And in our high school gym, we're able to put down the fighter and have 2 courts, and it was a great atmosphere. But we also went to Vandalia, and then we went down to the Rib City shootout in Dexter, Missouri, and there's one other shootout that we went to, which is probably my favorite, which is over in Fort Branch, Indiana, and you play a bunch of Indiana teams that know nothing about you, and you know nothing about them, so you just get a nice different look there.
Yeah, neat.
But, Coach, one thing about going to those 2 places there was the time, your team, it's kind of a bonding, making either dislike each other more or like each other more.
Grow together, yeah.
Right, yeah, it's kind of a team-building exercise, I guess. But, down at Dexter with the Rib City shootout, I'll say this, there were only 2 Illinois teams down there, us and Massac, and then they have a tournament at the end after you played your allotted games, and Massac and us met in the championship. So,
well, that's saying a lot right there.
Yeah, we kicked out all the Missouri teams, and it was us 2 at the end. So
I'm sure they didn't appreciate that, did they? They're thinking, we're not going to send them guys back next year.
Yeah, I don't know how they felt. I didn't really care. I just knew we were winning, and then Massac kicked our butt. So.
Well, Joe's got a heck of a team back.
Yes, he does. I mean, they all won a regional last year, I believe, and beat Hamilton County, and he's got, I think, almost his entire starting 5 back.
He has his whole team. He has his complete team back, and his son is probably one of the premier guards in Southern Illinois.
Oh yeah, he's a great player, and always finds the open teammate.
Yeah,
good passer.
He's a kid that got unbelievable court vision, and very unselfish player.
Yeah, he was fantastic. That was my first time seeing him up close, so I was very impressed, and I think he should get some looks from some colleges in the next year or two.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, looking forward to seeing your Wayne City Indians. It should be a great season for them. We'll get over there and do a few games this winter sometime, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, we will.
Randy will hopefully be there more than me, but
we'll look forward to it.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys too, and I'm ready to get started.
All right, Jake. Well, thanks for your time this morning on the Sports Couch, and best of luck moving forward, and we'll talk to you again soon, okay?
All right, thanks, guys.
All right.
Good luck.
Thank you. Bye-bye. It's Jake Talbert, the head coach of the Wayne City Indians. You know, now that's an interesting story right there. You got a 1A team who's taken on a bunch of 2A teams. He's got Carmi, Murfreesboro, Fairfield, teams like that on his schedule. Man, they're not afraid to play anybody.
No, you know, I was kind of surprised last year when his team took on some of the challenges they did. And really, other than one or two little hiccups, they were very competitive on those nights.
Yeah.
And those teams got to be thinking, boy, this is a pretty small school. Come in here and just gave us a handful.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And again, when you've got somebody the size of Justin Durham back, a big guy in the middle, you know, they've got the size to compete with some 2A teams.
Size and quickness are two things you can't teach.
Yeah. Yep. So they're going to be very, very, very competitive, and they're going to be a hard out for everybody this year at the 1A and the 2A level. He's going to have a good team.
But, you know, it's just like he said, Randy, when you look around, a lot of teams got a lot of kids back that got a lot of experience last year. You look at that Weber team, they've got some good young kids. Sisney up there, he's got a young group coming back in. So that Midland Trail Conference will be pretty tough night in, night out. And I'm kind of know some guys from Waltonville, and this 8th grade group that did very well in state now that are freshmen, they're kind of on cloud 9 over there at Waltonville right now.
Well, they may take their lumps and bumps early in the year because they are freshmen. They're going to be a little smaller and weaker maybe, but by midseason and by certainly the second half of the season, when they get seasoned, get experience, get stronger, understand the level of play at the varsity level, they're probably going to surprise some people.
Yeah, they're like I said, this year may not be the year, but next year. Right now, I'll say I'll take Waltonville as the Midland Trail Conference champion next year.
Yeah, you probably
not this year, next year.
Probably be pretty accurate in that statement. But
and Randy Dees, you owe me for that.
Well, you know, you got an eighth grade bunch at Woodlawn this year that's pretty good too, and those guys rolling into high school next year are going to be adding a lot to the Woodlawn program.
Yeah, you know, in a small school, it seems to run in cycles. Woodlawn was on top of the hill for quite some time. They've had a couple rough seasons now, but it looks like their new group's coming in.
Oh, that 8th grade bunch is tough.
We'll see them tonight.
Yeah, we'll see them tonight, as a matter of fact, at Summersville Shootout. So, well, keep checking our websites, foxesfans.net and AreaSports.net, to see games that we will be covering and streaming along the way. We'll be doing, like I say, junior high games, high school games, both boys and girls, and it should be a fun season. So.
Yeah, on Foxes Fans, we'll be kicking off Thanksgiving week with the Hamilton Lady Foxes tournament down there, and then we'll be headed to Goreville the following week. So once it starts, it'll be almost nightly.
It's nonstop once it gets started, and it's just about to start. And like I say, we'll be at the Summersville Shootout doing a couple of junior high games tonight as Woodlawn takes on Casey Junior High, and also the Fairfield Colts will be taking on Raccoon.
Yeah, you know, that Woodlawn Casey Junior High game's got some pretty high expectations. I'm really looking forward to tonight.
Yeah, a lot of people talking about it, so look forward to having people join us online for that one. Well, that's going to wrap up this edition of the Sports Couch. We appreciate all of our guests being with us, and Coach Miller, Coach Holloway, Coach McElravy, and Coach Talbert. And we'll talk to you again here real soon. So long, everybody.